Hello everybody, this is Pastrytime, and I'm bringing you an audio commentary featuring Lux, this little business here. We've got Alistar, Pantheon, Gankplank, and Sinjed on our team, featuring Lee Sin, Warwick, Morgana, Wunder, and Corki. We have no jungler, their jungler is the Warwicks, and we're going to talk about Lux today. May it let it also be known that this is the game where Pantheon decides to flip out and kill everybody, which is really great fun. So we're deciding on some lanes here. You'll see I've started with a Fairy Pendant, 3 wards, and 2 health potions. I do consider Lux to be a support champion, so this is my standard support setup. I'll build 2 Philosopher's Stones and then go from there. And the Fairy Pendant obviously gives you mana regen and lane, and it gives you access to a lot of kind of extra items. So I've got the 2 pots and 3 wards as well, all of which are really, really handy dandy if you're playing support. So I end up heading bot down here, but we're going to swap Singed and I, so it's going to be Singed alley bot, me Panth top, and Gankplank mid, because Gankplank is a baller. This game gets pretty silly, which is awesome. But really, I'm just here to kind of talk about Lux and demonstrate the power of Lux. I hadn't played Lux in ages. Lux is actually the first champion I ever played that I felt good with, and I kind of stopped playing her for a while. But I'm playing her again recently, and this game was really good because it kind of got to a point where I got rusty and I didn't play her very well. When I picked her back up again after I stopped playing her, and this game felt really good to play Lux again because it was kind of like the usual ownage. Anywho, so I'm actually gonna go here and I'm gonna try and mess with Warwick a little bit. I will say if I'd had someone here with me, we probably would have killed him. But all I'm actually trying to do is steal his blue buff. This doesn't work on good junglers. I see a Corki there, he's going to shoot me a little bit. This doesn't work on good junglers at all, but I'm going to ward up and try and take his blue. Now, he does the smart thing and drags into the bush, so now I have to CV in order to steal it, which kind of sucks. But he ends up smarting it anyway and I don't get the steal. But I figured, there was no harm in not doing this, really. Especially since Mundo from top has decided not to mess with me at all. And you can see he smites. I actually do hit him with Listen Singularity. He gets pretty low and flashes out. But I'm gonna get out really, given that Corki and Mundo could both come in and kill me. Yeah, and there's no one else there to help me. I don't feel like going in there. So I decided to play risky and poke at Mundo, who manages to cleave on me multiple times. This is actually going to end up working out really, really well. And I think this little fight here emphasizes the strength of Lux as a kiting champion. I massively whiff for losing Singularity there. I'm trying to juke cleavers and failing, getting absolutely demolished by Masochism, but he misses that one cleaver there, which is good. Flashes and auto attacks me. Pantheon ends up stunning him, and I'm going to get another snare off, despite getting hit by a cleaver. Exhaust from Pantheon there as well, really helping out, and we're just going to bring the beat down on this Mundo. More beat down. I CV, just so I can get some vision, and a nice hard seeker plus stun from Pantheon, and including a flash auto attack, picks up first blood. So that was lots of fun. Mundo really did overextend himself there in a 2v1 lane, especially against two champions with decent CC. He pretty much just got kited around the entire map. So that was fun, a fun little first blood. I'm going to quickly double check what runes I have here. I am 9021 Masteries, by the way. You could have 9 in defense if you wanted to. It's absolutely essential that you have 9 in offense. 21 in utility even. Yeah, it's essential you have 21 in utility. If you feel like you're a little too squishy, then you can go ahead and get the defense. Actually, the Strength of Spirit in defense, the one that gives you mana, health regen based on mana, will actually help you lane a little bit longer, especially with your Philosopher's Stones. But really, if you want I prefer the little extra punch and the cooldown reduction as well from having 9 in offense. Actually, no, I do have it. Wait, what runes am I using? I am confused. Alright, my runes are getting in my way right now. I actually don't know what I'm using then. No. I must have 9 in defense. Maybe not. I don't know. Who cares? Anyway, 9021 or 0921 are all acceptable. The runes I currently have equipped when I checked were move speed, cooldowns, mana regen, and magic penetration, but I don't think I have those. Given that I might have move speed, don't have armor, definitely don't have defense runes, probably have regen, That seems right. Gave Regen. I must have new speed then, and not have cooldowns. Probably have ability power per level then, because I don't have ability power Quintessences. Anyway, not very important. I'll figure out what my rune build was if you want later and post it in the description. But for now, let's just focus on how much beatdown we're implementing on the window. So pretty much just poking away. Poking away. I ended up going mid here, because Mr. Gankplank had to back up from the Corky. And Cinder's actually coming up from the bottom as well, so we're going to get our gank on. Roaming with Lux is actually something I think is okay, as long as you don't stay out of lane for too long. Especially once you kind of have your Philosopher's Stones, and or are level 6. You definitely have the CC to pull off some pretty nifty ganks. So I'm waiting for Corky to back because I knew he would. I hit a snare pretty easily there, and then Corky gets flashes. Sorry, almost gets flung. Flashes. Singed runs in front of him, and then flings him. Then flings him. A CV to make sure we can find him. Okay, and then I pull off the sickest Lucid Singularity ever, leading Corky just across there in order to pick him off, and we get a kill. So Lux is really about landing your skill shots properly. Think of it kind of like Blitzcrank, in that if you're unable to land your skill shot effectively, your character becomes significantly worse. So definitely, given that all of Lux's spells are skill shots, yeah, every single one is a skill shot. You really do have to make sure you're landing everything effectively and using all your abilities and all your cooldowns to the great effect, despite having reasonably low cooldowns, and the fact that you generally build quite a bit of CDR on her as well. So just that to think about, but yeah, if you're on with Lux on a day and hitting every skill shot, you will just absolutely terrorize the crap out of your opponent's team. And if you need to practice skill shots as well, Lux is a good champion to play. So level 4 now, got a couple of assists. Pantheon's fighting Mundo. He'll get killed down bottom lane. Not too interesting here. I'm gonna try and snare Mundo here, so we can try and get a kill. Although he did hit 6, so it's gonna be a little bit harder. I don't think he's quite in range. Yeah, alright, he walks in range there. Managed to pick him off. Nice stun, slow. And then we actually kill him through his ulti, which was pretty sick. Just enough damage output there to pick off Mundo. Again, knowing that my skill shot was just in range, and knowing that I can hit him through the one minion is really important as well. Lux's Lucid Singularity is different to Dark Binding in that it does travel through to a second target for reduced effect. So you can end up picking off people. Oh, sorry guys. You can end up picking off people from places you didn't really think you could. So definitely, playing Lux and being experienced with Lux is something that will make you better with her. If you play with her for the first time and don't really feel like you got much out of her, then just keep at it. She's I'm going to go ahead and say difficult champion to play, just simply because the mechanics and kind of knowledge required to successfully use all her skills is pretty high. Like, her abilities themselves aren't particularly complex, but you know, it's a snare and a shield and a damage that's also a slow and a big laser. Like, they're not, but the way you use them effectively is the important part. So Warwick's gonna come up here, prepping a stun in case I need it, but I figured I didn't. I even used it. Oh man, that's awesome! I didn't realize I could do that. I'm gonna start showing angles of stuff now. But yeah, kind of Warwick was here. You want to kind of snare across. His range is actually pretty long too. If you look at that, look at the range. Sorry, I've just discovered exciting new things. You're able. I would have placed it kind of across the lane this way, like this. Lux. What did I say? No, she refuses. Okay. So just because I've seen Warwick now go missing, I'm gonna go check to see if he's at our red. With Lucid Singularity. He's not there, so I give it up. I don't know why I kept walking, given that I already knew he wasn't there. But okay. I double checked that he's not at red buff, and then end up going mid to try and get some ganks off here. But nothing much going on, so I give that up. Go back up to top, which is pushing now, and Mundo's missing as well. So I think I call that. Yeah. Anyway, so level 6 time as Lux. Level 6, depending on how your lane is going, will sometimes net you a kill almost instantly. It does increase your burst by an absolute ridiculous amount, given that it not only ignites your passive illumination, but also gives you an additional charge. So if you're able to follow up your laser with one final auto attack for some extra damage, you will absolutely burst the crap out of someone, especially at level 6. Notice here I'm just kind of farming it up. Farming with Lux is actually pretty difficult. She's a really bad pusher given how small the radius on her AoE is, unless you decide to use your ultimate, and even then, depending on how the minions are spaced out and how much damage it does, you won't actually clear them all that quickly. Given that it is a pretty narrow line, as you can see. Let me use ultimate. Yeah, given that it's a pretty narrow line there. But yeah. Lux, not the greatest farmer, not the greatest pusher certainly, but she does defend lanes very well, with enough AoE with the turret to, with enough AoE at a turret to kind of keep everything at bay, especially with her shield. You can protect people, yourself included, under the turret. It's actually really dumb to tower over Lux, ever really, given that how much CC you have, and really that's what Lux brings to the table. A little bit of burst and a lot of CC. I'm kind of roaming around now. When you hit 6, you should always keep in mind of who you can kill with your laser. It's not quite the ridiculous range of Ash's global arrow, but you can certainly pick off people a good way across the map. I'm going to harass Coggy here a little bit. You generally always want to snare first, snare auto attack, and then Lucent Singularity. Actually, sorry, you want to snare, throw Lucent Singularity out, hit them with an auto attack, pop the Lucent Singularity, and then auto attack them again. That gives you the most burst. Without using a laser, just if you're kind of poking and harassing in lane. Also, try and help yourself last hit by last hitting the creeps that have been illuminated. If you're AoEing down a bit with Lucent Singularity, it just makes it easier, given that Lux's attack damage and attack speed are both very, very low. It can be hard to last hit otherwise. Try and Lucent Singularity there. No, crap, light binding. Damn it. Get that wrong the whole time. Try and, you know what I mean. I tried a light binding there to get a last hit, but don't get the auto attack in, and the tower KS's me. So that's unfortunate. Lux's attack range, however, at 550 is actually quite long, so you can get a decent amount of harass and or last hitting in from a reasonably safe distance. You'll see here I'm using illumination and my auto attacks to, sorry, Lucent Singularity and my passive illumination to help me farm. But I missed that cannon creep there as well. If I'd had a little bit more attack damage, I definitely wouldn't have missed that. So people are dying all around, stuff's happening. Lots of kills have already happened that I've probably missed. Whatever. This is a commentary, not a shoutcast. Anyway, I was taking mid for Gankplank, who decided that Corky was too annoying to face off against. And, also the fact that he rolls Mundo because of his passive. And then I decide to check the bush there with Lucent Singularity and just take over this lane while people go back and or are dead. Lucent Singularity, as you've probably noticed already, does give you vision, so you'll see me checking bushes with it a lot and stuff. You can also check over walls. Again, it's a skill shot, so as long as you're in range, you can throw the AoE anywhere in range. I do get hit by a Dark Blinding there, but I can still cast spells, so I do manage to Prismatic Barrier. I'm trying to figure the name of her shield. I do manage to Prismatic Barrier myself off most of that damage, which is good. Again, using all of Lux's skills effectively, very important. Anyway, so pretty sure from memory that a gank's gonna happen here. You'll notice that Singed on Lux is actually a really cool combo, because flinging them directly into some CC is pretty nice, especially Lux's CC's a skill shot. So it's, you know, not always the easiest thing to land. I do miss one there. I don't know quite what I was thinking, but Alistar does manage to get some business going. Although I think we don't get anyone, which is sad. I think he was going for a headbutt pulverizing. Just mainly got the headbutt part. Level up a little bit. Still poking. Pokey poke poke poke. For skill order, you should level your E, and then your W, and then your Q last, leveling your ultimate at every possible level. This gives you kind of the best combination of damage output early. Survivability, because your shield is very, very strong. I'll explain one of the reasons this is in a second after we kill Mundo. So I missed the snare there because of a flash, which sucks, but we continue chasing. Gankplank picks him off with his ult. I was planning on ulting, but since I would rather give the kill to our carry, and I didn't want to waste 2 ults, he picks that one up there, but I would have ulted there if I needed to. That was definitely a situation where a good Lux player would never let someone get away from. Yeah, so your shield not only has pretty sick base stats, like most of Lux's skill. You saw a Fling snare there. That was pretty disgusting, I have to say. Just having Singed Fling Warwick into my snare and then just run all the way back around taking tower hits was pretty cool. So Singed Lux is definitely one of my favorite combos in recent times. Gonna go back here and get some boots and some Philosopher's Stones. I'm actually gonna get cooldown boots. Now this is a big thing for me, cooldown versus Sorc shoes. Given that you don't actually do a whole lot of damage to squishies if you don't have magic pen at early levels anyway. So now my damage will actually drop a little bit more than if I had Sorc shoes, where it would actually increase. Trying to get a laser kill there, but Gankplank managed to kill him before I managed to do that. But you know, I tried. Again, I don't really want to chaos my carry. I was just more trying to pick up the kill before he died. But Gankplank is apparently too boss to die, and manages to just destroy face. So Singe is going here now. You'll notice that I eliminated Corky. We're gonna go for another set of. I missed my snare completely because Mundo gets flung a funny way. And actually, just because he gets flung in the first place. But that's okay, because I managed to pick up the kill anyway. You probably noticed I light binding into just a basic attack. You do want a basic attack as much as possible with Lux. After using an ability, especially early in lane, it really does give you quite a nice harass. You'll notice even then, I didn't go in there because the tower would hit me, but I do follow it up with the Lucent Singularity, just kind of poking away. Lux is really good at harassing, really good at kiting, and excellent at controlling space. She kind of have this long snare here, this reasonably wide, even though it's a small area effect slow, it does have a reasonably wide area. You have this barrier, which is just a fat boomerang, and of course your ultimate, which is a big chunk of space. So Lux really is the zoning queen. Sorry about that. So yeah, shielding again. Little quirk with the shield. If you guys have ever seen the Lux Champion Spotlight, a lot of this will probably not be news to you. But in case you haven't, go watch it. Freak does explain a lot of the basic stuff about Lux. You need to know mechanic-wise. I do try and pick off Corky there with my ultimate, but I'm just not quite strong enough. He does take a lot of damage for it, but Morgana's Black Shield will keep him alive through everything else. Although we do end up diving window and killing him, because Alistar is a G, and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, your shield it's not additive if you proc it twice, but it does, it will refresh. So you'll notice there that Gankplank took one hit from the turret, then the shield came back as he was taking the second hit. And so if you end up using the shield, so if the initial shield that you threw ends up getting used up, again, I'm just kind of shielding my team here. Really, it's important to kind of get as many people as you can with your shield, both times, but certainly you want to get everyone on the way. You want to get like half of them on the way through and half on the way back if you can. If you're unable to actually get all of them, but although getting all of them is obviously better. But yeah, it's a pretty sick shield. It does cover. It's an AoE shield basically, so how can that be bad? Again, you'll notice Lux not the best pusher here. I'm just kind of slowly AoEing and auto-attacking minions down. But sorry, the shield duration will refresh once it travels back through, and it refreshes onto you as well. So if you would use the shield, if the entire shield would get used up the first time when it comes through, when it travels back to you, it gets refreshed with a new shield. So in essence, you're doubling the duration of the shield, kind of. Like, it's not technically doubling it, unless it exactly happens in that way, but it will keep you and your teammates alive a lot longer than you think, given that you get to absorb damage on two separate times. Sorry, this is really hard to explain. Yeah, you get to absorb damage 2 separate times, because the shield does refresh when it boomerangs back. Anyway, so I'm just poking around here, being funny, being annoying. I probably could have died there if I wasn't careful, but you know, I do hear blood sent from work in the back off, given that I don't know where he is. And just kind of poking again, trying to keep them down, keep them from pushing our turret. Just a bit of AoE and a lot of CC into your turret will help you defend things very, very well. And then I find where I get up blue, who's already done it. Muppet. Bad work. End up snaring Mundo there. Pretty late on the Lucent Singularity. If I was actually going to commit to dealing damage with it there, I should have thrown it earlier, but I don't. Anyway, so Pantheon's going to come in here, Gankplank ult's going to happen, and all sorts of carnage will erupt. We're going to focus on Mundo. Warwick jumps on me, I think. Warwick jumps on someone and dies. We end up heading back towards Pantheon, who's fine now. Singe is going to run in and fling somebody. No, he's not. Oh, Singed. But yeah, you probably want to go back and watch these team fights a little more closely. But as a general rule, I'm trying to keep close to my team and away from their team as much as possible. So kind of towards the back, but you want to be near your friends. Actually, try and pick off Warwick there who didn't die. That was, if you're wondering why that random laser, what that random laser was for. My CV wasn't up. Oh no, it was up. No, sorry, it was Morgana. I was trying to pick off Morgana. I CV'd her and she moved, and I tried to guess where she would be. Another snare there leads into a pretty easy kill for everyone else. And then Lee Sin decides to dive 4 of us and get exploded. I don't really know what I was thinking there. The Morgana who almost died just come back to stop our push. Whew. All the good stuff. You'll notice I end up shielding both of them as well there, which is also good times. But yeah, you kind of want to stay kind of near enough to your enemies so that they don't get you, but you can hit them with your snare, and then you want to stay close enough to your team so that you can get as many of them with a prismatic barrier as possible. So positioning with Lux is very, very important, but kind of hard to explain without directly showing you. I'm actually thinking of doing more kind of live commentaries as well, because although I love commentating on replays and stuff, it's nice to kind of go over things and be able to watch games and kind of talk over stuff in a more detailed way. I don't think it benefits quite as much as me explaining what I'm thinking when I'm playing a certain champion. So as I'm playing them, I mean. So although I'm not that good at talking and playing, so we'll see. Also, FRAPS tends to give my computer pretty significant frame rate issues for some reason, so we'll have to see. I'd love to do a live commentary on something like Lux, because there's so much to talk about in the middle of things like battles and just in lane and stuff like that. You can really talk about so many positioning based and kind of zoning based things as you're playing, where that's a lot harder to do in a replay. Anyway, unless of course I pause it, although the pause function is kind of wonky. I might try and use it. Alright, next team fight, I'm gonna pause and see what I can do. Anyway, I'll try and shoutcast in inverted commas what I'm doing. So slow from Singe there, flinging the Warwick. I actually missed my snare completely because he gets flung so far, which is really sad of me. But I do slow and pop loose and singularity at the last minute, and just prismatic barrier to not take damage. It's a pretty useless prismatic barrier actually, but I liked it. I think I'm just too vigilant. I missed an easy snare there as well, which is really bad of me. It's just angled slightly off. I go up to save Gankplank, who gets prismatic barriered, and then laser window for the kill, just to keep him off GP. Although he was stunned by Pantheon anyway, so I don't think it was a problem. But again, just saving my teammates, CCing it up. Again, barring alley there. Managed to hit Corky with my snare. Should be listen singularity. I don't know what I'm thinking here. Oh, he does die, okay. I don't know what I did there. That was a really low loosen singularity. See, this is the problem with going over my games in replay. I feel like I didn't do anything wrong before, and now I'm looking like, oh, look how badly I played. But yeah, just lots of snares, lots of CC. Lux creates brilliant opportunities for your team, especially with such a kind of heavy, with such a strong CC team, with Ali, Singed, Lux, and even the Pantheon stun. We get to do some fun stuff. So I'm gonna go pick off wraiths here. Now this was funny. I think I turn around, deciding to farm their wraiths, and this is just kind of how bad Lux is at farming. So bad actually that I have to turn around and try and laser them, but I miss completely. I do get slowed by window despite burying myself, so I don't take too much damage, but I flash over this little bit there, and we're fine. I realised I actually forgot to talk about some of the spells. I pretty much just take Flash and Clairvoyance as Lux. Again, it's just standard support spells. You will see towards the end of this game, I'll try and point it out when it actually gets there. You will see a flash used to reposition an aggressive flash used to reposition myself for a skill shot. But just Lux's move speed is generally quite high, and you generally don't end up dying. You generally end up dying from getting hard CC, which is why something like the new tenacity item that builds from Philosopher's Stone, Miracle. I can't pronounce the name of the person whose miracle it is, but it's like LS Sayers Miracle or whatever. I'm gonna say Ellie's Miracle, or Ellie Miracle. That's easier. Or just Miracle. Anyway, that item does help you a lot in the anti-CC department. You tend to live quite a long time just by kiting people with all your CC and your shield, and helping yourself with your shield, which I should use here. Again, notice a bit late that Window's attacking me. But yeah, shield, CC, losing singularity back up for the damage, and pretty much just gonna we deal a significant chunk of damage to Mundo there. I'm actually trying to save Gankplank, but we don't end up doing it, sadly. I do snare, reveal, pop my gun. I should have waited on that reveal though, and I don't CV until quite late. Although I am going to pick my gun off with laser anyway. So you'll see how low she gets, and I'm going to lead a laser right where she's walking and pick her off at the edge of it. So yeah, your laser does have and of course nail this snare and almost completely destroy Mundo, who's now going to get singed and die. I should CV now. CV! I don't need to, Fling happens. And Pantheon picks up this kill with a spear, I think. So yeah, kind of saw that was a 2v3 turned into a 2v2 that turned into another 2v3, all was set up by me. So and singed as well. I can't discredit singed as Fling there. Although I did manage to hit the flash. I did manage to hit the snare that he flashed out of anyway. And again, just more snaring of the people, more flinging of the people into the snares, all that good stuff. So I think this is the part. This is the flash snare. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. All right. So this is me. Use Lee Sin. I'll use my flash. Can't be that. Dang it. There's cool something down there. I'll do that again. Kind of used it already. I know it's on Lee Sin. I remember hitting Lee Sin with it. Just trying to remember when. So I'm just trying to bait them into the bush here. This works too. I think this is beautiful. Kind of snare up Corky, harass him a little bit. You get shot. Gankplank kind of runs in like a madman. Don't worry, there's a giant Alistar who flushes through the wall. I'm out of mana, which sucks. Ooh, just missed Lee Sin with my laser there. I was trying to hit him, but I assumed he would move a little bit further than he did. I'm of course just being annoying and being obnoxious and poking them from behind their turret, which is Lux's range again is something is really good to abuse. Pantheon tries to jump under Lee Sin, doesn't get it. I get suppressed by Mundo, and this is the power of Prismatic Barrier right here. Refreshes, take damage, refresh again, almost die, flush over that part of the wall, and just get out alive. If Prismatic Barrier didn't refresh its duration when it bounced back on you, I would not have lived there. Anyway, so I decided to go back. I'll actually end up not going back, given that A, Warwick knows where I am, and B, oh, I know what happens here. Oh, that's not it. I swear I flashed that. It happened, I don't know, maybe it's a different game. But you can use flash to, oh, everyone does. You can use flash to, sorry team. I just got all my team killed. Oh well. That by the way, that snare on Warwick was blind. So yeah, that's the kind of, you end up playing a lot with not looking at the screen you're actually firing into. You're either a screen ahead, looking forward, trying to pick someone off with your ult, or you have to guess, you have to know where they are, intuitively, from just from the way they're moving. So Lux's range is definitely I would say her biggest asset and her biggest advantage. So abusing that effectively is really important. So once you know your skill shots all really effectively, you can begin to kind of chuck snares as you're running and hit people. So I just wanted to point that one out. The snare on Warwick as we were getting away was blind. So that's kind of the benefits of playing a lot of Lux and getting to know her really well. So I think I'm actually gonna go back in now. I didn't for a while. You noticed how much I regen just from Philosopher's Stones. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up Shirley's Reverie. Shirley's Reverie is a really, really good item on Lux. It gives your entire team kind of the mobility that you have, and gives you even more mobility. So, given that you're a champion that's all about kiting, it's all about controlling space, giving your entire team and yourself an incredible burst of mobility is essential to controlling fights in space effectively with Lux. Really, Lux is just kind of a giant CC machine with a big laser attached to it. I actually think of it a lot like Blitzcrank, except the reverse. Blitzcrank is more about keeping... It is about CCing people, but Blitzcrank more keeps people closer to you and gets into fights. He's tankier, where Lux wants to keep you away. So they both control space in a similar way by having a lot of CC. They just do it differently. Lux is more at range, where Blitzcrank is more in your face about it. So yes, if you like Blitzcrank, you might enjoy Lux as well. That's another thing. I certainly love playing both of them for similar reasons as well. Mainly because I get to do lots of fun CC-oriented things. You'll notice I'm 4-0-14. I have not died this game at all. I do see a lot of Luxes getting Magi's, because you tend not to die if you're a good Lux player. And you do get some pretty ridiculous damage, especially from your ultimate, but I personally think Magize is a massive waste, and is really, really risky on a character that's quite squishy like you are. I mean, I did get away from pretty much everything through ridiculous use of my shield, but that's only because of the AP I had from Rabadon's death cap. If I'd gotten Magize, I wouldn't have had Rabadon as early as I did, and I just prefer a more consistent build, like with some Philosopher's Stones as well. Anyway, I have a funny feeling I know which runes I'm using, by the way. I think I'm using my Janna runes. You'll notice I Shirley's over there just to help my team catch up to people. Sadly no dice. Again, just continuing to throw out CC. Again, if this was live, it'd probably be easy for you to point out every little thing I was doing. I actually saved Singed there, although he does sadly die. Using my ultimate to do some serious damage. Oh, this is it. This is the flash binding. So I flash to get in position for the binding, and I just can't quite pick him off, but Gankplank manages to do it. So I think I flashed forward from about here to here, and then binding to here. So that was something I wouldn't be able to do if I didn't have flash. Ghost is really good. I'd probably say the best two abilities would be Ghost and Flash. Again, I managed to save myself with the Prismatic Barrier again. If anyone's ever questioned how ridiculous that is, don't. It's amazing. I do try and laser... Morgana it is. And of course I'm going to recall. Although again, the regen is keeping me quite healthy in these fights, especially if you plan to play a lot of kite-based prolonged fights, which you would with a character like Lux. Having regen really helps you, as you can constantly regen as you pop in and out of fights. You'll notice that I've barely gone back in the big fights that we've had. I've just kind of backed away and then gone back in. I'm going to go try and save Gankplank here. Managed to miss thingy there. Corky comes in, you notice I run away. I toss a Lucid Singularity back in just to zone everyone out. Warwick apparently can't find me despite the fact that I'm revealed. And then I run all the way back around to my team just to make sure Warwick can't do anything to me. I don't think he would have caught me anyway, given that I have Shirley's up as well. But that was really strange actually. Having Warwick just laser. I actually think I made a mistake by lasering him there. Although Singe does manage to fling Warwick out of Hard Super Strike, which I only just noticed then. Anyway, I know this game's wrapping up. It's been a pretty massive romp. And I just like to point out my score as Lux, 4-0-18. That's the kind of thing you want as Lux. I'd actually prefer more assists, but really, she is a support-esque champion. You do want to build as much AP as you can. I just picked up Rabadon's because it not only was I doing very well, and was able to build it, but it gives you the most AP for its cost. And really, Lux, you should view it as a support champion. Stop building with Jais on Lux, guys. Hopefully this commentary was entertaining. I think this game was entertaining. I certainly enjoyed watching it again. Not the most informative commentary I've done, but Lux is a very complex champion. There's a lot to talk about that happens in fights, and she's very much a strong team fight based champion. She's not the best laner. She's pretty good support in lane, but you definitely benefit more as Lux. I don't know what I'm doing here. You definitely benefit more as Lux. By offering your team an absolute ton of CC in team fights. So really I would have to go back down, break up everything, and kind of pause and unpause and do stuff like that. Might do a live commentary later, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. There isn't any commentary on the way. I just haven't found a game that was... I do have a game, but I didn't have time to cast it today. Anyway, have a good one.